Hi, it's Peggy. Welcome back. I'm Peggy from the Pearl Forest. Today I have these two big bins that are working on a whole bunch of, uh, some of them are going to be rust journals, some are going to be junk, grungy type journals, and some are just going to be basic, kind of neutral bases for people to kind of do what they want with them, whether they'll be an art journal or a writing journal or recording nature things. So I'll let them decide. But I think between all of this, I probably have 20 journals. I've been coffee dyeing a lot and finding supplies and gathering it up. Now I sorted it out, and this side here, this whole bin, is all what I call blank. It doesn't have writing on it I have to distinguish. And I'll kind of show you putting together at least one of them on another video. I'm not going to take you along for all 20 because I think that would just be too much. But this side has writing that I have to check out and possibly cover up. So let's put this one aside for right now. And we'll look at this one. Now you have to, if you use, like I reuse a lot of things that they're recycled, they're junk that's left over. And so you want to make sure there aren't any bad words. Now this was part of a little booklet. Here's chapter 1, Water and Your Home. Well, it's a cool picture, you know, of old photo albums and stuff. And it's got a nice font. And this is just talking about generations of memories. So I would say there's no reason that this could be a problem. I think it will be fine. And it's a shorter page, so it'll go in, you know, like that. So we can take all of these out. A grandfather's gift. Summer tips, references. I think they're just kind of interesting little things. I guess it was from State Farm Insurance. Here's a winning collection, so it might be your trophies or something. So all of these I can pull out and just put in my thing of pages. I won't pull them all out at this moment. And let's see, this one here, now this is from a crossword puzzle maker program that I had at one time that you could make your own crossword puzzles online. Something else has stuck itself on here backwards. So I think this is probably fine, but it might be nice to cover up their company's name. Now this is really outdated. I'm sure it's probably not even current. We could put this on like a pocket. Why don't we do that? And then that just kind of adds a nice grungy pocket. Like I said, a lot of these are going to be grungy. But I also want some that you could take out with you when you're hiking. You might save some pressed flowers with them. You might make a little note, later add a photograph. Some notes that you want on something, maybe just your thoughts. Maybe you like to sketch or do watercolor while you're out somewhere. You could actually do it in the journal, or you could do it on some watercolor sketch paper and put it in a pocket or an envelope or something. It can be your outdoor journal. Maybe you're taking note of what plants grow where at what time of year so that you could revisit them. I think a lot of those things, maybe your garden, how your garden grows and when you plant what. Any kind of nature-y things I think would be nice for a journal. Okay, so we've covered that up. And we also have made ourselves a pocket at the same time. And I think the rest of it is fine. So that's a good use for that. Let's see what else we might have. In the meantime, let me close my glue back up though, so it doesn't dry. A lot of that book, let's see. Some of these have a lot of stuff on the back, and now this has different like product packages and prices and that kind of thing, but it doesn't have the company name. So I think, well, it's Fantastic Foods, but I think that's fine. So I think that would be okay. And now I did have, I did have some that had a name on them. Oh, these ones here, which are mostly just a graph, but there is a name across the top. So I think that's the only part I care about getting rid of. So I think if we just take this dyed paper, now it's coffee dyed, but sometimes if you have markers or lines on the notebook paper or some other kind of things, or maybe you have food coloring in there, it can also add dye to it. So let's see, we don't have to have this even straight anyway. Let's see, we do want to put this up a little more though. You're having a good day. I don't know if I have any other news or not yet. I'd love to go out and meet some of you someday. Maybe have a get together. But I don't know how soon anything like that could happen, or if anyone is interested. I'm also thinking of a retreat, so we could just get together and play. We'll see. Okay. Now I'll save that for now, but I might cut it into strips for later. Now I have a number of these. Come on, lay down. So I'm going to save a bunch of those. Let's see, I need something to glue on. Oh, here's my glue book. Now, are these a good length? They are. Now, these things I'm covering stuff up with, I'm trying to do it so that it's grungy also. And I'm holding this off camera just because I'm covering this up, but I'll show you in just a minute. So I'm gluing that down flat. The wrinkle in our paper here, we'll try to unwrinkle. And that just gives it a little bit more letters along the edge of the page. And I think the rest of it is fine. So that page is done. Now I have more like that. Some of these might have a whole bunch of things on it. Now this is a school paper about debating and consequentialism, the theory of that, and politics and society. And that I think is fine, but then here's some notes on this side. So maybe the B isn't the answer to that one. This one I think I'll wait and find something bigger to go over it. Okay, these are other school things, extensions and modifications, classifying aliens, and then people with bricks and no bricks. Oh, there's some drawings on that one that needs to be covered up. Here's the armor of God. I don't know if we need to do that or not. Anyway, there's lots of things like that. That's the one that needs a strip. This one. This is the fantastic food order. Let's just cut this. Cut off like 1/2 inch. So we'll make it 5. So we have that, and then let's cut this down. How far up does our thing go? Just line that up there. And line that up there. Well, there's nothing wrong with this. I just think that overall it's nicer to not have their company thing. So I'm just going to cover it up with this dyed B page. And it doesn't cover it 100%, but that's okay. The part that's left, I don't have a problem with. Looks like I didn't quite get to the corner, or this one. And there's a little bit of something over here, so maybe we'll do another alphabet. Come on, I need a little more glue here. So glad that my wrist is working today. It was not yesterday. Okay, I'm going to put it in a little bit just to let that edge still show. So now we've taken this and covered up that part and that edge, and then the rest of this is just a nice paper, so that gives an interesting page that we can use. What else do we have in here? We have some envelopes that we can cover part of the stuff with. This is an annual business meeting. So I would say that one could maybe have a couple big pockets. And see, a lot of these that have a lot of stuff on them, I think they just need some big things put on them. Here's a calendar that has some notes on it. Once again, we can just cover some things up. These are some history link. Northern Pacific Railroad reaches Hoquiam in 1899. So this is just some history link. It just says as long as you encourage reproduction with the attribution, credit should be given to both historylink.org and to the author. I do not know who the author is, so probably that would be better to cover it up. But you know, if you're putting on, say, a pocket, if I have one handy, we do have this little thing that we could, if it was, say, a pocket or a tuck, and then it would have something in there that it would cover most of the stuff up. So a lot of these, anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to have to go through them to see what I need to do, whether it's put a little strip along the edge, whether it's cover something bigger up. I also had the idea that we could stamp over the top of some of this if it just needs to be not as readable. Like these have bled through from other things and you can't really read them. But if you wanted to make them even more not readable and a little bit more grungy, then you can do something like this. These oxide ones I don't think stamp quite as easily as some of the others. And then you can just stamp some things on here, especially if you have kind of a general patterny kind of stamp. And then if you're putting, you know, pockets and things over them, they're not really going to show that much anyway. So you have to decide how much does it matter if there's something on here and how much it doesn't matter. So I think that page is fine. Anyway, hopefully that gives you some ideas of some things that you can do, whether it's a little edge. This I decided was okay, or whether it's something, you know, that's covered up more fully. So this is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and I hope you have a great day that's not quite so shadowed. Sorry about that. That you have a day full of fun, creativity, and love. So here's a border edge. Whoops, sorry, this is shadowy. And here's a border edge plus something glued over part of it that just then leaves the coffee dyed for the back. So we will be back in the near future putting together, or show you that I've put together a number of these. We'll just call them more neutral, natural, grungy, etc. journals. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.